do not. Oh, that's one of the game pieces things, right? Like,
No, it's
what do they call that?
Stitch.
Snitch?
It's
Okay.
Stitch it's a movie that I don't remember. It's at Disney. It's Stitch.
It looks a little bit like one of those Pokemon characters to me.
Oh no, it's not Pokemon, but it's
Okay.
cute. I think it's cute, and it's blue.
It is.
See,
And I've
am I
got blue on. Oh, crud. I left my bracelet upstairs. Whitney, will you run up? Whitney's going to give me hers real quick. Thank you, baby.
So we are actually live right now, by the way. Oh, yay, you got yours. That was awesome. Thank you, Whitney. Oh, that is awesome. Yes, indeed. Anything blue today is what I want to do. You know what I'd forgotten about the whole blue hair experience from a year and a half ago was how at the beginning I felt funny about it. Hey, Penny, I see Penny's jumped on. At the beginning, I felt funny about it. Like today, I was supposed to go to the store.
Right.
And I kept thinking, and then somebody came to my door. And my first thought was, I'm going to be opening that door with blue hair. Yeah, I'd forgotten that I went through that. It's like a week or so where I care.
Right.
That I'm odd looking, and then after that, I don't care. I forget about it. But well, I'm in that.
I'm already anticipating it because we've been talking about a contest for the launch team that if we hit a certain number of sales, pre-sales, or whatever, that I'll go blue, and I will. But I've already been thinking that's going to be kind of weird for me. I've never done that kind of thing before.
Yeah, it's well. And when I was just talking to, I told you, Greg, the guy that does the handyman work here, I was telling him some of the stuff I've done and said yes to in the last couple of years is because I knew I needed a kick in my business. Not that business. My... Well, that was so wrong. Okay.
You just try to see if you can make me blush. I know your thing.
Why, you get nervous?
When everybody reads the book and they get that little line, it's going to be funny.
Yeah, it is my new mantra, by the way.
I understand.
Yeah. So anyway, I needed a kick, and so that's why I joined the Go Giver Success Alliance, because every time I've needed something to get me out of I don't want to say a slump, but something that's happened. Like we had a change in ownership of the company. Right. So we were all in a funk for a while, and I needed something to slap me. And right. I said, and I happened to talk to Bob about something else. And he said, did you see about that thing we're doing? And I'm like, I'm in, because I knew I had to say yes to something different.
Right.
And that was the same with the blue hair in the book.
I'm a little bit worried about you using that phrase. You needed something to slap you. You already want us to do a sequel called 50 Shades of Blue. We're not doing that. I've already told you.
You weren't supposed to share that out loud.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. I forgot we were live. So.
You did not. You're being a naughty boy tonight. Careful, I'll get out the squirrel. Don't make me get the squirrel out. Oh, Penny says, I can't wait to read it and give you a good review on Amazon. Yeah, that's Penny. That's going to be so important when it does come out, because the reviews on Amazon, of course, that makes a whole big difference later down the road. Right. So I'm so glad that you thought of that. Thank you very much. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to chit chat for just a little bit. Then we're going to talk about one of the rules.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forget we're already live and everybody's already out there. Yes. Then I'm going to interview you, and we're going to start going through the rules so that you can kind of give the group an idea of how the rules came to be and what you teach when you teach those. And then we'll wrap it up with some ideas for those who want to help promote the book, which is, I think, everybody in the group does. That's why they joined the launch group. We'll give some suggestions on things you can do that'll help get the word out, because the truth is, books that really change people's lives and really catch on out there, it happens because a group of people get excited about it, get passionate about it, love the story, and they start telling everybody they know. And so we'll talk about some things we can do with that as well.
Oh, so somebody wrote in the comments, sounds very interesting, 59 Shades of Lisa. Thank you.
I should have not opened that can of worms. I am so sorry.
You are not. Okay. So what I wanted to talk to you about prior is do you know what's funny? I don't know if you feel that way about me, but you're one of these people that you meet once in a while that I feel like I've known you for a lot longer than I've actually known you. And I catch myself saying, I probably already told you this a bunch of times because I think it's stuff you already know about me. And you kind of are doing it too because you said to me, you know, I'm a spreadsheet man, and I didn't know that about you. Is it? And I don't know. It's because we have so much in common, I guess, that
Well,
I'm assuming you know a bunch of stuff about me that you don't.
well, our collaboration and our friendship grew really well, really fast, and that's why it's that way. And with me, I also I have this extra helpful thing that makes me not remember if I told you something before or not. It's because I'm forgetful at my age. My children have always teased me that Dad cannot keep a secret. And that's always been true. You didn't tell me if you wanted it to be a secret, but now they know they can tell me because I won't remember it 2 days later anyway. But yeah, we've learned things about each other, and it is because we get along so well that it's really a comfortable friendship in that way. And yeah, I never know about what I've told people or not. I built spreadsheets with Excel back when I was still in the corporate world and the insurance industry, that I could download something from the internet and it would put it in 20 different things, rank people by how well they did. It was way too detailed. I had a regional vice president with the insurance company I was with. He used to tell me, he said, I'm going to start calling you the numeral proctologist because you really get into those numbers. It became my nickname for a while.
Well, it wasn't just that too. It was like the hotel thing and the Garth Brooks thing and like the hotel thing, how I when I first read it, when we were doing you were doing the writing and I was doing the reading there, and I first read, I went, how did he know about that? And you didn't. I know
Well,
that's kind of like creepy scary.
well, you could be my sister from another mister. We just don't know this. So.
Oh, yeah, that could be. That could be. That's
I
scary.
could be your brother from another mother.
Yeah, and I'm not a dude, so yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
That's why you have to be my sister from another mister. Won't work any other way.
But yeah, I thought that was cool. So yeah, people have said to me, because they knew between 2018 and 19, I stayed at the Marriott Marquis with the kid 3 times.
Yeah.
So when it was in the book, they thought for sure it's because I told you some story about it.
No, I've stayed there too, and it's just a wonderful place, and I worked it into the story because it fits so well, especially with what we were accomplishing at that particular part of the story.
Yeah,
And
that
so,
was just it was just an oddball thing that we both happened to like that. So,
right.
but anyway, I think that's why it seems like I've known you a lot longer, because there's little stuff like that. And when I got your list of songs, and you had more Garth Brooks songs on it than I did.
I used to sing a lot of Garth Brooks songs. I used to play guitar a lot and sing, and I'm nowhere near the quality that man is. I have so much respect for that. But I did enjoy playing them, and every now and then on a karaoke night, I can get a little crazy too. So.
Oh, that's good to know.
We'll have to have a Blue Hair karaoke night on our trip.
Yeah, really.
And I'm serious. We definitely need to plan some trips in 2023 that everybody who wants to go can go, and we'll make it fun.
Yeah, we'd have fun. And Garth Brooks, you know what's funny? That's why I'm using the strategy I'm using with the promotion, because I like his singing. He's fine. But what I like about him is his story.
Yes.
He nonstop working at the bars, nonstop going after it. I mean, he chased that. He didn't just go after it, no, well, he chased that. I mean, he's still chasing it. He don't need the money at this point, and he's still chasing it. And see, I admire that, like, all get out. So what I like about it is the story.
Yeah, his story is great. And when I first moved to Texas, it was back in 1989. And he was just starting to get a bigger presence known. And I was at a songwriters convention in Dallas one time, and I met Dwayne Blackwell. And Dwayne Blackwell is who wrote Friends in Low Places. And he was talking about how he had Garth record the demo for that song, so that because he was trying to sell the song, and then later Garth made it a huge, huge hit. So great
Wow.
story.
Oh, that must have been neat.
It was, my background, of course, you know this. I don't know if our group knows this. Was in music. I've got a bachelor's in music ed and a master's in music comp, and those 2 degrees and a dollar bill won't even buy me a cup of coffee anymore.
I think it's cool that you decided to do sales because it's more money.
Absolutely. You know, the first, back when I was interviewing for my first teaching job, that in the area that I was in, there was only one opening, and I didn't get it, but that was a blessing, because the starting pay in the state of Alabama with a master's degree and a band director's stipend back in 1982 was $14,000 a year.
Oh,
And I ended up working for a musical instrument company in sales, made $21,000 that first year, met a man who totally changed my life, a guy named Jack Amberson. And it's just, it was a blessing that I didn't get that teaching job.
Now, I told you this, I think, privately. See, I got to quit saying I told you this. Okay. I think your Jack relationship is the same as my Angie relationship.
It's a special relationship then.
Yeah. And it's like he was a mentor. And I think he kind of admitted this, but at corporate, I'm hard to deal with. Can you imagine that?
I am totally shocked.
I'm sure you are. And I think they like assigned him to me early on. So when they had to tell me big bad news or slap my hand or something, they'd send one guy, and it was him. And he was known as someone who could calm me down or get me to do stuff. So that was awesome. But he was always a big mentor to me.
You know, it's funny. I remember you telling the story early on when we were starting to collaborate about someone at Avon that was the person who they would send. I didn't realize that it was Angie. And now that I've gotten to know him through his endorsement and the wonderful things he said, that gives it extra special meaning to me too.
Oh, let me tell you a little thing about him, and then we can go on to the rule thing. Okay. He's always had this special place in his heart for woman of enterprise, which me too. I always coveted that from afar, and I had some big accomplishments and stuff, but I didn't realize they were choosing him not just on accomplishments, but on what they wanted to promote in the company.
Sure.
And of course, I didn't know that. I was, young and naive, but I always wanted that award. Well, he took a position over in China and was gone, and I got nominated, but I was nominated, and they called me on the phone, and it was the first year that they had more than one in 1 year. They had 3 of us, and I was so heartbroken over that. When she called me, it was for you that are in Avon that know, it was Maria Penniger called me on the phone, and she said, "I'm just so happy to tell you you're one of the women of enterprise." And I went, "Say again?" say again? One of? What's that mean? And when she told me they were 3, I had to make that switch in my head quick and just say, I'm going to be grateful for this, because 20 years from now, they won't know there were 2 others. I'm just going to act like I'm it, and that's the end of it. And I did. I went through the whole thing. But later, when Angie moved back to the States, I don't even know if I can tell this without, because I'm already feeling like I'm going to say.
You made me cry last week on my birthday.
Oh my God. Right. I'm not a cry person, but when Angie moved back, see, I'm just thinking about it. I'm going to do it. When he moved back and I saw him at the big dinner on the big trip, he said to me, "I heard about Woman of Enterprise, and I just want to apologize on behalf of the company. That should never have happened, that you had to share that, and I am sorry." And see, I can't even say it. That saved it for me right there. I was so happy that he said that, and he didn't have to do anything else. I was just happy that he acknowledged. But that was a heartbreaking thing that he fixed for me by saying that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's funny how we have those moments in our life that change perception inside us, and that was one of them for you, because you've always been goal oriented, or at least the part of you that I've known on this, and that moment. One person who cared about you and all that changed that direction. So that's kind of the best thing in life, in my opinion.
I'm just glad that he knew that it was so important to me, and that his words could fix that for me, and that he chose to do that. That was nice of him.
Right.
That was
cool.
Okay, so now we're going. Now, I got to change hats for this.
Are you going to put on your graduate hat? Oh, okay, you're going to put your Captain Platinum hat. All right. By the way, those of you that are typing things in the chat, I am so bad about multitasking. Hello to everybody. I love you all. This is the most fun group I've ever been around, so it's great. One of the things that Lisa and I want to do on these live events with you is want to walk through some of the teaching. A lot of you have known Lisa for a while, so you've been around some of her teaching, but a ton of the group, you've really not been directly around Lisa, either your contacts that came from me or your contacts that came from our contacts together who reached out further. So what I want to do is kind of tell you a little bit about how the 7 rules, how we kind of decided that as a topic basically for the book. And then I want to interview Lisa about how the rules came to be. And when we first started collaborating, when I reached out to Lisa about the idea of doing the book together, I asked her, I said, just make a list of everything that you think is important to teach your people, the people that you've worked with a long time. Make a list of them. And then we started whittling that down, and we got it down to 7 because that's a nice manageable number. You know, the 7 habits of highly effective people. You have the original list right there.
Yeah.
That's great. And so, but we narrowed it down and we discussed it and we talked about different ideas and we narrowed it down to 7 rules that she teaches in her team. And so basically what I want to do is interview you, Lisa, about those rules themselves. And the very first rule is one of my favorites. Of course, I don't think I could pick a favorite just because of the fact that they are all so awesome. But rule number 1, for those of you that don't already know this, rule number 1 is the stewardess rule. And the stewardess rule basically says, secure your own oxygen mask first before attempting to assist others. Lisa, how did that rule come about in your life, and how do you go about teaching that with your folks? Clue us all in on that.
Okay, so right when I made the top of the pay plan in Avon, I got to go around a bunch and do speaking and stuff. So I would hear every time you get on the plane, you hear the stewardess rule. Secure your own oxygen mask before attempting to assist others. And it made I made a lasting impression because people sometimes act like they only want to help other people. They don't care about themselves, but that doesn't make sense because you sink yourself. You have to come from a point of strength to be able to help others. And I run into a lot when I was signing up brand new Avon representatives. They would say things. I don't know if they were saying it because they genuinely meant it or they were trying to impress me, but they would say, I don't care about money. I just want to build a women's shelter. And I'd be saying stuff like, don't you think the woman that would use the shelter would like it a lot better if you had the money to actually pay for the shelter? So you've got to actually have your own stuff together. If you don't, it's hard to help other people. So the best way to describe that to me was the stewardess rule. And once I heard them say it on the plane so much, I thought, most other people have heard that too, and they'll understand why. Because if you put the oxygen mask on the other person and you die, that's not going to work. You both die if you don't get it on fast enough. So you have to come from a position of strength to be able to help other people.
Did it surprise you that you had to spend time teaching people that rule? Because, I've been in sales leadership 30 years. You and I both have dealt with a lot of the same issues. And sometimes I get a little bit surprised, I guess, about what certain people are dealing with and all that. Did that particular rule surprise you that you had to spend time on it, or did it just seem like it was just a natural outgrowth and it seemed to be a very common thing you had to teach?
It's funny because I think I see it even more than before, where it's like the world in general is being judgy if you're not philanthropic enough for the world. They all think you're judgy. And to me, I've always subscribed to like the Jim Rohn thing about enlightened self-interest. When you do your best and work on you and build up your resources, then you're in a position of strength where you can help the other people. But unless you do that, and I'm just surprised so many people worry more about what the society thinks about their givingness than they do about securing their own position. And, I say something a lot and people judge me for it and I don't care, shockingly enough. But I say that the best thing that you can do for poor people is not be one of them. because you're going to be taking up resources. Instead, if you build yourself up, then you can help other people pull them up so they can help themselves. It's not pull them up with a hand out, it's with a hand up, because the only way it's really going to work is if everybody can help themselves and operate and be independent financially and emotionally themselves, I think.
It's kind of interesting. One of the stories that Lisa and I have together that is a commonality between the two of us is when we both used to live in mobile homes that in my case, for sure, it was almost a stretch to call it a mobile home. And I know from what you've described yours, it was similar. And we have had times where we didn't have a lot of financial resources, and we kept plugging along, and we turned that around in both of our cases. And one thing that I used to tell people as I was trying to get them to understand, money's not a bad thing. If money were a bad thing, good Lord, the devil would just throw it all over all of us and make it all go straight to heck in the handbasket. But I used to say, I've had times when I didn't have enough money to pay my bills, and I've had times when I had more than enough money to pay my bills and didn't have to think about it. And I thought about money. I'd hate to say it, I almost coveted money more when I didn't have it. And I've never really cared that much about it as I had it. So you think about money a lot more when you don't have it. So if people get this rule right in their mind and they go after this and they understand the stewardess rule and they build something for themselves, they can support their charities, they can support other people, they can just do so many amazing things, just like you did.
And I think there's a good reason it's the number one rule.
It is.
Because, enlightened self-interest, that's what Jim Rohn says, because you've got to be able to have a home base that's solid, and that's you being able to emotionally and financially tote your load. I know that sounds like a weird saying, but I don't know how else to say it, where you can do all of it yourself without a prince coming in on a white horse. You need to be the prince, save yourself. Save yourself, people.
There's a funny story that actually happened to me that I'm not going to tell, but I'm going to tease you all with it. It's when I was writing the stewardess rule in the plot line at that point. I have Belle tell a story that happened on a flight with her that actually happened to me. I'm going to save it, but it's one of my favorite funny stories in the whole book because.
Oh, I didn't know that actually happened to you. That's funny.
Yeah, I was on a flight. If I remember correctly, I was flying from Rome to Paris or vice versa. I was on a trip in Europe, and she said that, and I cracked up, and it was embarrassing because nobody else was paying attention.
It's funny how, nobody pays attention to that, but I can say it verbatim because I've heard it so many times.
Right.
And to me, that's why I call it that, the stewardess, because it fits.
Right.
And I think it's hard to explain any other way. It's like some of the other rules, I have kind of funny names for them.
Right.
But that's because I think they're relatable that way. People can understand what I'm talking about.
Right. All right. One of the things that Lisa and I want to do when we're on these calls with you is we want to kind of give you some hints about how you can help push the book. And the first thing we both want to say is if it's not something that you're comfortable with pushing, that's okay. We love you. We want you to be part of the group anyway. But being a book launch group, we know most of you, part of the reason that you're part of it is that you do want to help promote it. And I really do think, I know a lot of you that are early readers that we're getting endorsements from. You've already said so many wonderful things about the book. I am so blessed and appreciative of that. And I know Lisa is too. But we kind of wanted to give you maybe a couple of hints on some things you could do on social about helping promote the idea of the book. And I'm going to make sure I have my notes here because I have a really good memory if it's in front of me in the print's big. But one of the things that Lisa and I have talked about is if you can share about the book on social media, whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and also share outside the group. Y'all are sharing so much great stuff inside our group. And I get such a kick every time somebody is doing a picture of the wristband. I get such a kick out of that, and it's because of how awesome you guys are, and it's because of how the magic that Lisa has been making happen with you guys for years, and also it's going into the group. But share things outside of the Facebook group itself. And what I've got on my notes here, and Lisa, you add in here too, a picture of you showing your wristband. Make some sort of comment about you're excited about the book coming out. and or anything creative that you want to do. And I'm hesitant to say that because there's no telling. I know some of you are even talking about dyeing your hair blue. And so,
yeah, so the things that would probably help the most, because part of the wristband thing is the social media effect. And try if you can. I know some of you don't like pictures of yourself, but do it for me, is put your face in the picture with the wristband when you take it. And when you're posting, not just the hashtag, but we want to start converting to also putting the URL. So it's said the lady with the blue hair.com, because that's going to send people to the shuffle card, which is going to have the links to order. So we want to put both the hashtag and the URL, and your gorgeous faces with your wristband.
Don't be shy. If I can do it, you can do it. So. Something I was thinking about too, and I think Lisa's idea about putting your picture in there with your wristband is the absolute best. I'm glad that was on your end instead of my end.
Sorry, there's the dog. What'd you say?
But I was glad it was your dog. My dog was whining this morning. So
no,
or actually, it's Whitney's dog. But as you see the different endorsements, please feel welcome to share those out in your social media as well. That's because, like I was saying earlier, one of my favorite books of all times has been The Shack, and I just love the story in that book. And the reason it caught on was because people got so excited about it, they started sharing information about it, and it became a cause. And as this book gets further out, and you start seeing the message, especially for women, it's going to appeal to men and women because it's got sales training in there that's awesome. It's got so many things. But Lisa has such a heart for mentoring women, and this is going to be a very special message to every woman out there who has ever. You really don't even have to be in sales. It's going to be a special message, and I think that it has the ability, because of how Lisa has made her life do this, it has an ability to become a cause. So I'll encourage you to share those as well. And your hashtag and the website on the shares. And tag Lisa and I when you do it, because I'm thinking about a contest for next week. And so I'm thinking maybe, did you already have one in mind?
Oh, I thought you were talking about that contest.
Oh no, that'll be later. We'll see how November and December go.
Oh, okay.
But
by the way, everybody, Jeff was kind of busting me on the call this morning because I changed my name to Smurfette. I said, hey, don't be laughing too hard, Papa Smurf.
She did. It was hilarious. But I think next week what we'll do is everybody who posts something that even outside of our group, and they tag Lisa and I, we'll just start keeping a list of names, and we'll have a drawing next week.
Ooh,
and I'll give away a prize. And by the way, I'm going to reach over here to the side. I got to show you something. We had the contest for how many members we would have on September 29th on my birthday, and it was 949. And the winner was Deanna. What was Deanna's last name?
Nantista.
Okay, she was our winner. And so what I ordered, and they actually came in. My daughter Whitney just brought this to me. They came in, but you're going to get a coffee mug that's got the imprint done by the wonderful Alex Wilber. That's got
the
book
handle's
imprint,
the right color and everything.
Yeah, and then on the back it's got, said the lady with the blue hair. You got a coffee cup coming. At least I'm sending you one, and I'm keeping one for me too. So
that is awesome. That is awesome.
I love coffee anyway, and that comes out just about in everything I do. So.
Oh yeah, you love. I'm gonna say a swear. Kick-ass coffee. What the heck, man? You love coffee where you could stick the thing sticks right up in the thing and doesn't move over. That's right.
I do, but I also put heavy cream in there. I don't even do the half and half. I put heavy cream, so I kind of tame it a little bit for me. But
not tame enough for me. I thought of that earlier because I had coffee that was hazelnut, macadamia nut, or something, and I thought, oh, this is so not something you'd have.
Well, I don't do the frou-frou coffees that much, but I will do them sometimes. I'm more of a. But like I say, I don't put sugar in it, but I'll put cream in it. But I'm sweet enough already.
Coffee. Yeah, that right. You're mean to yourself, and that's kind of funny. Here, have your coffee.
Watch the slap move. We're not writing that sequel. I just told you.
Oh, stop. Oh, I need some other glasses. How about flamingos? Oh, no, you know my favorite ones? You've seen the flamingo ones already, right? The
Oh yeah,
flamingos?
yeah.
Yeah, those are cute. But you haven't seen these. These are ones of my favorites, too, from the convention. Yeah.
I love it.
These are awesome. Yeah. We do all that stuff on my call for my team. Yeah. We're a little bit scary on the team call.
Yeah. I see Deanna posted, thank you. It's my pleasure, Deanna. You're very welcome. So.
She's looking forward to drinking coffee out of it. Yay. Yeah, Penny's on, Cynthia's on, Teresa's on. Yay. Everybody, this is awesome.
You know, we were talking about Garth Brooks earlier, and one of the reasons Garth Brooks has been such a big name is he is such a fun entertainer to watch, and he loves the crowd and he plays with them. And you and I aren't Garth, but we do have a good time playing with the crowd and with each other on this stuff. And so hopefully that's going to be something that everybody enjoys too. Because, well, Lisa and I really want this group to be something you all consider very special. We really do.
Well, and my whole thing is I really, really hope in 5 years or even a couple years that we all look back on this and say, remember that time when we really made a difference?
Absolutely.
We really did something together as a big group and made a difference. We did it together. So that's really my thing. I'm hoping, yay. Somebody wants to buy the cup too. See, I told you.
Well, I've been talking to a company about trying to get some if people want to do that. But I don't want either one of us to be having to do a lot of shipping, so we may have to come up with some source. I even talked to Bob and Kathy about how they do the Go Giver one. So.
Well, don't forget that I sent you the links for those companies where you like the Cafe Press where you upload your thing. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Very cool.
Yay. Well, I guess we're all done already. We're going to do a half hour and make sure you check on the group. And thank you, everybody, for all that you've been doing. Everybody's been, and if you haven't got your profile frame yet from me, just private message me. I'll make you one myself. You don't have to do it yourself. And if you haven't got a wristband, I've still got plenty because I ordered plenty. I ordered enough for everybody, and I'm willing to get another round. Although if I get more than this, Jeff's coming up here and helping me tape these things.
That sounds good. We love you guys. Y'all have fun.
Thank you.
Bye.